I'm Pete Scholes. I play guitar and take one car.
I'm Tyler Irish, and I sing and play guitar and take one car. About 5 years ago, we had our first practice, and we were on our way there, and we got into a car accident. We were taking 2 cars to practice. Our drummer was following our bass player at the time, and a black cat ran out in front of us, and our drummer rear-ended our bass player, and we totaled both vehicles. And I think it was like the next day or something, someone made a joke like, oh, why didn't you guys take 1 car to practice? And it kind of just like stuck. We didn't really ever come up with a band name. It was just kind of a running joke, and 6 years later, it was still here.
Our first show as a band was, it was really awesome, honestly. I mean, like we were so excited. After we had met each other, it was probably it was only like a month before we ended up playing our first show, and we were playing with these bands. Back in the day, it was Swallow the Ocean and Cargo Cult Revival, which were like, those guys were like giants to us. I mean, we thought that it was like the coolest thing in the world. One of the best shows we've ever played was at the Gramercy down in New York City, and I think it was at the end of a contest, and so there was a lot of just kind of emotions running around about that. But as far as, it was like the first like real legitimate venue we'd ever played. Even to this day, it was one of the best stages we've ever been on. But I mean, even just from like a performing aspect, I don't think we've ever had better live sound. As corny of a thing as that is to be excited about a show, I've never heard a monitor mix that good, and it just was awesome. It made playing so much easier.
I started playing an instrument when I was about 15 years old, and that was the guitar. I was really big into country music back then, and I saw Johnny Cash playing acoustic guitar, and I was like, I want to do that. I want to like replicate that. That's the most awesome thing I've ever seen. And yeah, I picked it up, and I tried playing it for like a year straight, and I couldn't play it, so I put it back down. And I think it was about 6 months later I came back, and I was like, I'm going to learn how to play guitar. And I actually did.
I started playing when I was 6, kind of started playing. My dad gave me a guitar when I was 6, and he played guitar. He does play guitar. So I just kind of wanted to be like him. And as I got a little bit older, I started to get much more into it. And I started to get really into just music in general. And I've never been able to put it down since.
My favorite song to play live is probably Adrift. For years we've been closing the set with that, and it's one of those songs that I feel like it really comes across well live, and I can't think of many times we've actually had any issues with it, and it works. It's yeah, I can just get into it. It's explosive, and it's just, I guess I enjoy playing it live.
I have a hard time picking one of my favorites. It was for a really, really long time this song called Brim that we have. But honestly, in the last couple of months, I think it's been some of the newer ones. And I don't know if that's just because they're new and it's like more exciting now, because the other ones, we've been playing for a couple of years. But I don't know. I think I just have to say some of the newer ones, but we don't have like solid names lined up for them yet. So, new ones.
I feel like there was a lot of failure that got us to where we are now, and learning from that failure and learning from those mistakes.
We made a lot of mistakes, and unfortunately, we watched some other bands make mistakes. So like we learned from them. Like they would tell us like, hey, this didn't work out for us, or I don't know, just us messing things up ourselves. We figured out it didn't work, but we just kept trying really, really, really hard to take this as seriously as possible.
I think eventually you take a wrong path for so long, and you realize it's a dead end. So you try another path, and that's a dead end. And some people pick the right path the first time, and like they go and they get to that place. But I think we
still haven't.
We still haven't. We're still taking wrong ways and bad paths, and but eventually you find that route. And we just got there a little slower. I mean, I can't think of. I think some bands could say, I promoted this way, and I wrote songs this way, and we did these 3, 4, 5 things, and it worked out. But I think in our case, it was a lot of failure and a lot of mistakes. I guess in the future, right now, we're focusing on writing, and we plan to go into the studio, record another album. We're not really sure what it's going to be, how long, how many songs, but yeah, we plan to release that probably in early 2014.